University Dawn advises healthier approaches to disease prevention. No cause for panic as federal government declares Nigeria Ebola-free. Plus, post-Ekiti election review, stakeholders highlight lapses, recommend improvements. I was on Nta Ado Ekiti News tonight. My name is Olukemi Sonny. Report just reaching us says all the school children and teachers abducted during the May 15 attack in the Ahore Sele community, Orire local government area of Oyo State, have been rescued. The victims were kidnapped when heavily armed gunmen invaded the community, abducting 46 pupils, teachers, and the principal of a secondary school. The crisis took a tragic turn days after the abduction, when one of the kidnapped teachers, Michael Oyedokun, was beheaded by the abductors. NTA News has now confirmed the successful rescue of the remaining victims. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, announced that the victims had been rescued by security agencies. There is no confirmed Ebola case in Nigeria. There is no cause for panic. Government is fully prepared and vigilant, and citizens should observe good hygiene, promptly report suspected symptoms to health authorities, and rely only on verified information from official government sources. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who is the chairman committee of the Presidential Task Force on Ebola virus disease, reaffirmed this during the committee's inaugural meeting in Abuja. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Prevention, they say, is indeed better than cure. Nigeria is taking this proactive approach in view of the recent reported cases of Ebola outbreak in Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda, where health authorities have reported more than 1,000 confirmed cases and 600 deaths.
In Nigeria, however, I wish to reassure all citizens, again, there is no confirmed case of Ebola virus disease. Nonetheless, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has assessed the risk of importation as high, given regional population movement and international travels. Consequently, surveillance has been strengthened at our points of entry, health facilities have been placed on heightened alert, and preparedness measures are being intensified across the country.
Effective communication is an important tool being developed in managing health crises, hence this strategy.
We must adopt a whole of government and whole of society approach by engaging television, radio, newspapers, digital and social media, community platforms, traditional and religious institutions, schools, markets, transport unions, women and youth groups, and civil society organizations.
He says a comprehensive national risk communication strategy that is proactive, transparent, and accessible to all Nigerians, regardless of language or location, is underway to boost the sensitization work that has already commenced by other relevant agencies like the National Orientation Agency, NOA. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The search for healthier and more sustainable approaches to disease prevention was the focus of the 108th inaugural lecture of the Ekiti State University, Ado Ekiti, delivered by a professor of food and nutritional biochemistry, Folake Lucy Oyetayo, of the Department of Biochemistry of the university. Bumi Adewumi was there and now reports.
Of academia, students, and concerned stakeholders for the university's 108th inaugural lecture, where attention was drawn to the untapped nutritional and medicinal potentials of indigenous plants. In the lecture titled "In Search of the Beautiful Ones, Unraveling Phytoceuticals and Phytonutrients in Sleeping Pharmaceutical Giants," Professor Folake Oyetayo described many indigenous edible plants and macrofungi as rich resources of bioactive compounds with immense health benefits. She explained that the underutilized natural resources contained bioactive compounds with antioxidants and disease-fighting properties capable of protecting vital organs and helping prevent and manage several degenerative diseases when incorporated into daily diets. Professor Oyetayo advocated greater consumption of local-sourced plant-based foods, noting that increased research and proper utilization of indigenous plants would improve public health and reduce dependence on costly conventional medicines.
We have active chemicals in naturally occurring plants around our locality that can manage and treat several chronic disorders. For example, I mentioned the case of agbalumo, which is common. We all know that. We found in our experiment that the pulp powder lowered blood glucose tremendously compared to the untreated group of animals we use.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Joseph Ayodele, described the lecture as a reflection of the institution's commitment to research excellence and innovation, while commending Professor Oyetayo for her impactful contributions to scientific knowledge.
She made a lot of recommendations on it for every one of us to ensure that we make the best use of the environment, our God-given environment, the natural environment, to be used to ensure that we have a balanced science and a good nutrition.
The recommendation of the lecture are expected to help governments and stakeholders to intensify efforts in promoting indigenous medicinal plants and food resources as affordable and sustainable tools for disease prevention and improved quality of life. In Ado Ekiti, Bumi Adewumi, NTA News.
Typhoid fever remains a major public health concern in Nigeria, particularly during the rainy season, when poor sanitation and contaminated water sources increase the risk of infection. Although preventable and treatable, the disease continues to affect thousands of people every year. This report examines the causes, symptoms, and prevention of the disease. Rukayat Oladimeji is our guide.
Typhoid fever has remained a public health challenge for decades, particularly in developing countries where access to clean water and adequate sanitation is limited. The disease, caused by the bacterial Salmonella typhi, is transmitted through contaminated foods and water, making poor environmental hygiene.
If you must treat malaria, you need to get tested, go to the hospital, get checked up. Clinical diagnosis can help solve it. Once you have typhoid, even presenting like gastroenteritis, we treat it at the same way and we definitely get results.
Residents called on the government to intensify public sensitization campaigns on the causes, prevention, and treatment of typhoid fever. They also appealed for improved access to clean and safe drinking water, better environmental sanitation, and proper waste disposal to reduce the spread of the disease.
To make sure that we drink good water, maybe sachet water or bottled water. Then we should keep our environment clean. We should not be dumping refuse anywhere.
Drift to some kind of area that cause typhoid, smell, all those kind of things. So government should just plead on behalf of people to just tell them that they should stop all this kind of act that is abnormal.
As efforts continue to improve public health across the country, experts maintain that preventing typhoid fever begins with simple but consistent practices such as drinking safe water, maintaining good personal hygiene, and keeping the environment clean. In Ado Ekiti, Rukayat Oladimeji, NTA News.
And away from health matters, stakeholders have advocated pragmatic efforts of relevant authorities towards enhancing transparency, credibility, and public confidence in future elections in the country. This was part of submissions of stakeholders on the identified lapses and ways forward from the Ekiti State governorship election. Kola Adeboboye has details.
The Independent National Electoral Commission annexed reduction of innovations to boost the credibility and trust of citizens in the electoral process have continued to enhance transparency and credibility of electoral process. These range from the use of an electronic registered of voters, the issuance of permanent voters card to registered voters, and the use of the Bermuda Voters Accreditation System, BVAS, for the verification and authentication of voters. Stakeholders believe the 2026 Ekiti State governorship election was generally peaceful and orderly across different polling units, but identified voter apathy, which did not reflect the number of registered voters ahead of the election, and advocated intensified voter education, especially among young people, to encourage greater civic participation.
Electors, they voted according to their conscience, and there is no report of ballot box snatching or stuffing of a ballot box with fictitious votes. So we have seen democracy in action.
Let me say BVAS. We still need to put more effort on that BVAS so that some BVAS are blinking somehow. That is not working properly. So my complaint will be on that BVAS alone. Aside that, everything is okay to me.
Although there have been successive elections in the state, like the 2026 governorship election, some respondents noted that there are identified lapses in the process, which calls for attention.
Well, I do hope that in the January elections there will not be any votes buying. There was a lot of that this time around, and there was a lot of voter apathy. We will want to mobilize people, appeal to the electorate to come out and vote.
We need special voter education by all the political parties to say no to rigging, to say no to vote buying, to say no to usage of cards that does not belong to people. We should run away from all things. It will help us to salvage the problem of democracy.
Respondents noted that in achieving a free and credible electoral process, the electoral umpire must be seen to be free and fair, even in the build-up to the elections through voter education. Nta Ado Ekiti, Kola Adeboboye, Nta News.
And from today's Jumat service, an Islamic cleric, Ustaz Ahmed Bello, has urged Muslims to place greater emphasis on seeking Allah's guidance in choosing life partners and raising godly children. Ustaz Bello gave the advice at today's Jumat service at the Atowit Mosque, Ilawe Road, Ado Ekiti. He stressed that a righteous family is the foundation of a peaceful and prosperous society and encouraged Muslim men to marry women known for their piety, good character, and commitment to Islamic virtues. According to him, beauty and wealth may fade, but strong faith and moral upbringing provide lasting benefits to families and the society. The cleric reminded parents of their responsibility to provide proper religious education, instill good morals, and serve as positive role models for their children, stressing that parents who raise godly children with the fear of Allah contribute to building peaceful homes and a morally upright nation. Ayodeji Ogunshakin reports that the cleric also prayed for the peace of the state and the society at large. And up next is Sport Update with Ayodeji Ogunshakin.
Nigeria's Seun Ogunshakin and Botswana Ntugamili Ragun has booked their place in the semi-finals of the boys' double event at the 2026 Wimbledon Junior Championships. The African pair continued their impressive run by defeating the tournament's 6th seed by 6-4, 7-6 in the quarterfinals. The victory moves Ogunshakin and Ragun within one win of the final as they continue their bid for the prestigious Wimbledon Junior doubles title. Ekiti Queen's handball team continued their build-up ahead of future contests as the ladies took on South Academy handball team in a friendly game at the Oluyemika Ode Stadium at Ado Ekiti. The game, which provided opportunities for the ladies to give account of themselves, was another opportunity to improve on their tactics, style of play, and professionalism.
If you train and train, you then play a different team. So in your preparation, you won't know your strengths, your weaknesses, and your lapses, and where you picked up. So the match is of a great benefit to us and to them as well.
It's giving us the shape because when we are playing against a high-profile team, this is what we are expecting, and the weather also encourage our players to play more as we are preparing for Premier League.
Nigeria's under-18 Tigers delivered a commanding performance, thrashing Burkina Faso by 98-54 in the FIFA Under-18 African Championship qualifiers. The Nigerian young stars controlled the game from the tip-off to the final buzzer, building a substantial lead and never looking back to boost Nigeria's momentum in the competition and highlight the strengths of their Under-18 program. Nigerian Flying Eagles were held to a 2-2 draw by Bauchi State-based Dazaro FC in a friendly match played at the FIFA Go project at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja, as preparations continue for the 2026 WAFU B Under-20 tournament. The 7-time African Under-20 champions also recorded an emphatic 8-0 victory in another warm-up game. The WAFU B Under-20 Championships is scheduled to take place in Côte d'Ivoire from July 26 to August 9, 2026. That is on sports. I'm Ayode Jogishakin, NTA News.
We thank you so much for being part of the news tonight. Do stay tuned for its translation in Yoruba language. Good evening.
Mike, the baby wants that jollof.
What's jollof?
That smoky jollof.
All right, let me order.
No, that one from the neighbor.
Mike.
Sorry to disturb you.
Your wife.
I got you.
Are you sure you're not burning firewood here?
No. It's the new no smoky potty jollof seasoning.
Mike, the baby kicked. Baby wants new Knorr smoky jollof.
Enjoy the new Knorr smoky potty jollof seasoning for that real delicious taste of smoky potty jollof.
Before, my family can go 1 week without drama. 1 week, one wahala. Mama, brother, papa, since now before. Any beef supposed to stay inside bottle.
Maggi Star is crafted from fermented soybeans, onions, chili flavor, and cloves in a way only Maggi knows.
Walking on my Maggi make it right. Come with piece of peace. Wanna come at all, before,
Maggi Star, making every meal special and special moments unforgettable.
Maggi so good together. Me and Maggi so good together.
Ado Ekiti wá, ìròyìn ayọ̀ ní tiwa, kò pẹ́ dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kì í lé.
Nínú ìròyìn alẹ́ òní, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n fásitì kan gba àwọn ènìyàn nímọ̀ràn lórí ìdènà àrùn. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ sọ wípé kò sí ààyè fún ìfòyà bí wọ́n ṣe kéde wípé kò sí àrùn Ẹ̀bólà mọ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, àti pé àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n ṣàgbéyẹ̀wò àwọn kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ ètò ìdìbò àti ohun tí ó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fún ìtẹ̀síwájú ètò ìdìbò ọjọ́ iwájú. Ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ òní, ìròyìn la mú wá fún yín láti iléeṣẹ́ Nta Ado Ekiti. Orúkọ mi ni Rukayat Ọládìméjì.
àwọn ọmọ ilé-ìwé àti olùkọ́ tí wọ́n jí gbé níbi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó wáyé ní agbègbè Ahoro Esele ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Oríire ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ni wọ́n ti gba ìtúsílẹ̀. Àwọn tí wọ́n jí gbé ọ̀hún ni wọ́n gbé nígbà tí àwọn agbébọn ya wọ àdúgbò ọ̀hún tí wọ́n sì jí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ 54, àwọn olùkọ́ àti ọ̀gá àgbà ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀hún gbé. Ìjínigbé ọ̀hún ló di eléyìí tó ń bani nínú jẹ́ nígbà tí wọ́n bẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn olùkọ́ náà, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Michael Oyedokun lórí. Ìròyìn NTA ti fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé wọ́n ti rí àwọn tó kù gbà sílẹ̀. Olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì sí ààrẹ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìròyìn Báyọ̀ Ọ̀nànúgà ló kéde wípé àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò ló ti gba àwọn tí wọ́n jí gbé ọ̀hún sílẹ̀. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ sọ wípé kò sí ẹ̀rí tí ó fi hàn pé àrùn Ebola wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà mọ́, nítorí náà wọ́n ní kò sí ìdí fún ìbẹ̀rù. Wọ́n sọ wípé ìjọba ti múra sílẹ̀ láti kojú àrùn náà. Wọ́n wá gba àwọn aráàlú níyànjú láti máa ṣe ìmọ́tótó kí wọ́n sì tètè sọ fún àwọn elétò ìlera ẹni tí wọ́n bá fura sí pé ó ní àrùn ọ̀hún, kí àwọn ènìyàn sì máa gbẹ́kẹ̀lé ìròyìn àti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba nìkan. Mínísítà fún ìròyìn àti ìtanijí lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí Mohammed Idris, ẹni tí ó jẹ́ alága ìgbìmọ̀ tó ń bójútó ìbánisọ̀rọ̀, ìbáṣepọ̀ àgbáyé àti ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ fún ìgbìmọ̀ ààrẹ lórí àrùn Ebola ló sọ eléyìí níbi ìpàdé àkọ́kọ́ ti ìgbìmọ̀ náà ní ìlú Àbújá. Wíwá àwọn ọ̀nà tó péye tí yóò mú ìlera ara dára sí tí yóò sì dín ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn kù ní kókó ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kejìdínláàdọ́fà ti fásitì ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì tí ó wà ní ìlú Adó Èkìtì. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ní ẹ̀ka ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ oúnjẹ àti kẹ́mísírì oúnjẹ Fọlákẹ́ Lucy biochemistry ti fásitì náà ló gbé ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún kalẹ̀. Bùnmi Adéwùmí ló mú abọ́ròyìn wá.
Ibà jẹ̀funjẹ̀fun ti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ìṣòro ìlera.
Ó jẹ́ àkójọpọ̀ àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, àwọn olùkọ́ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì àti àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n ni wọ́n péjọ sí ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ 92 irú rẹ̀ níbi tí wọ́n ti fi àkíyèsí sí àwọn oúnjẹ àti àwọn àǹfààní oúnjẹ àti ìwòsàn tó wà nínú àwọn ewéko. Nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí àkórí rẹ̀ jẹ́ ṣíṣàwárí àwọn ohun ọ̀gbìn tó ń ṣara lóore tí àwọn ènìyàn kò kọbi ara sí, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Fọlákẹ́ Oyètáyọ̀ ṣàlàyé wípé ọ̀pọ̀ ewéko oúnjẹ ìbílẹ̀ àti àwọn olú jẹ́ orísun àwọn èròjà tó ní àǹfààní ńlá fún ìlera ara. Ó sọ pé àwọn ohun àlùmọ́nì tí wọn kò tíì lò dáadáa ní àwọn èròjà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí oògùn tó ń ṣọ́ ara àti eléyìí tó ń kojú àrùn tó sì ń dáàbò bo àwọn ẹ̀yà ara tí wọ́n bá ń jẹ lójoojúmọ́. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Oyètáyọ̀ gba àwọn ènìyàn níyànjú láti máa jẹ oúnjẹ ìbílẹ̀ tí wọ́n gbìn. Ó sì tẹnumọ́ pé ìṣèwádìí àti lílo àwọn ẹ̀fọ́ àti ewé bí ó ṣe yẹ yóò mú kí ìlera àwọn ènìyàn kó gbèrú sí i àti mímú àdínkù bá kí wọ́n lọ máa ra ọ̀wọ́ngógó oògùn òyìnbó.
Àwọn ohun ọ̀gbìn tí Ọlọ́run ti fi jí ìkí ọmọ ẹ̀dá ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ohun tí ó lè wo àìsàn àbí kí ó sọ ara di ọ̀tun tí a kò fọkàn sí, àwọn ewéko tí a kò fọkàn sí, wọ́n ní oríṣiríṣi ohun tí ó lè mú fún ara lókun.
Gíwá ilé-ìwé náà, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Joseph Ayọ̀délé ṣàpèjúwe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí àfihàn ìfaramọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà sí ìwádìí àti ìmúṣe ìmọ́tótó. Ó tún gbóríyìn fún ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Fọlákẹ́ Oyètáyọ̀ fún àfikún rẹ̀ sí ìmọ̀ sáyẹ́ǹsì.
Iṣẹ́ tó tún ṣe yìí á jẹ́ àtòmá gbé ilé ẹ̀kọ́ alárugẹ. Ó ṣeé ṣe kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wá láti tòsí àtọ̀nùtì láti pé wọ́n fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ àti àwọn akẹgbẹ́ láti bọ̀ ṣe ìwádìí gbogbo ìwúlò àyíká wa fún ìdàgbàsókè wa àti pé kí ìlera kó lè pé.
Àwọn àgbà nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún ní ìrètí wà pé yóò rọ ìjọba àti àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n lọ́wọ́ láti túbọ̀ gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti ṣiṣẹ́ ìtànkálẹ̀ pàtàkì fún àwọn ewéko tí wọ́n gbìn lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí tí ó sì ṣara lóore tí ó lè ṣèrànwọ́ sí ìdènà